Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. My gosh. You may notice that the ticker is up sizably from last show, like 1,300 followers in the last 24 hours. How? Well, I decided to get into the fray with Jason Aldean with this post. It's simple, just a small little call out to CMT that we have Jason Aldean's back. And we do. He's #1 in the charts on iTunes. If you haven't listened to his song, Try That in a Small Town. It's doing very well. It's a good song. Great video. Honestly, shouldn't be that controversial. The words are pretty simplistic. FAFO, F-A-A-F-O, F around and find out is all it's saying. And leftists are melting down, and they're making my post go viral. Thank you. There's another one. You're making my post go viral. I love it. All this is doing is bringing more followers into the fray. This is just creating a larger dumb nation, and this is what I want. I want conversation, and I'm monitoring. It's just went off 6 times since we've been sitting here. I've been monitoring the conversation. There's some really horrible stuff in there from the right and the left, but most of the conversations are fairly civil, and I have to go in there and moderate and knock heads around and kick people out once in a while. But overall, it's fairly civil, which is a nice thing. But this meltdown is ridiculous. If you're upset with a song that doesn't have anything to do with racism, that doesn't have one modicum of discrimination in it or promotion of violence at all, none, zero, zilch, nada, you're barking up the wrong tree here, because the video is about those things that you all endorsed, that Maxine Waters stood on the steps and didn't condemn when you told people to get in Republicans and conservative lawmakers' faces, as you made threats about blowing up the Capitol with Madonna, where you made videos about assassinating Donald Trump, as you embraced the summer of love, 284 riots and $2.5 billion in damage. Now, I know what you're going to say, but January 6th, yeah, that's not cool either. I don't condone that. I have ripped apart the J6ers. I think it was the dumbest thing we could have done, because all it did was load your weapon with ammunition to fire back at us. One versus how many thousands of riots that the left have subjugated on the cities and towns that they live in. Come on. It's not even close. It's not even the same ballpark. Hell, it's not even the same sport. But that's fine. You can hang January 6th over our heads. Your main comment, here are the arguments. Jason Aldean, he's from a big town in Macomb, Georgia. Well, in 1976, had about 124,000 people. Now, I'm from Tomball, Texas. That's got a sizable community too, but we're spread out. Listen, if your argument that his song is invalid, that if you go to a small town and you're going to bring your crap from the inner city into it, and somehow the only thing that's going to happen in order to diffuse that situation is, wait a second, Jason Aldean says that he's from a small town, but it's 124,000, even though I'm in a city with 3.5 million, that's not a small town. Anyone from a small town will tell you it's not about the population, it's about the population density. And you may not be able to see your neighbor for 1.5 miles. The closer you get into town, the closer you get into the rivers and the streams, and you get into the industry and you get into the businesses, of course. But let's go ahead and be a little realistic here. Tomball, Texas is nothing. It's a tiny little place, but it's considered Houston. So if I say I'm from a small town, you know, people are going to say, you're from Ventura, California. Yeah, but I don't admit that openly. I'm a Texas boy. I'm a born-again Texas kid. Now here's the thing. If that's your argument, it's a weak argument. If your argument is he didn't write the song, most songwriters don't write their song, but he sure sang the hell out of it. He crushed it. It's a great song. Your argument is, oh, well, he stood in front of a building where someone was lynched. Yeah, yes, that's probably true. And Ryan Reynolds had his wedding at the antebellum plantation of some sort and had to go ahead and apologize because he went to a plantation. You can't go to the South without hitting a plantation. Should we go ahead and cancel Dances with Wolves because it was shot on Native American soil? Well, that's everywhere, folks. What, should we move out? Should we never show MLK ever marching in Washington again, even though Klansmen went ahead and marched just years before? Should we go ahead and never show 9/11 footage because of what happened? No more Freedom Center, no more visiting that area, no more paying respects and homage to the people who gave their lives unwillingly Why? Because something bad happened there? Yes. Lynching is horrible. Yes. Racism is horrible. And so is burning down cities. So is indoctrinating our kids. If you're not upset by this, but somehow a song upsets you, if you think burning images of our towns and cities is okay, but sticking nude images and pornographic images so our children can see them is okay, if you think telling children that a man isn't a man and a woman isn't a woman and they can go ahead and get chemically castrated and they can go be anything they want and world will accept them, there are plenty of songs that are controversial, like A Virgin. Huge controversy with Madonna. She even did Like a Prayer too. Kissed a black guy. Oh my God. How about George Michael? How about Father Figure? I Want Your Sex. How about Two Live Crew? How about NWA? Music can be controversial. That's the beauty of the First Amendment. And Jason Aldean can sing about whatever he wants. And if he wants to sing about things that you consider racist and prejudiced, well, then you don't have to listen to it. You can just turn it off. If you wouldn't have made a big deal about this, this would have went into obscurity. This song would have been played on a couple YouTube videos. We may have seen it at a ball game or two. But no. You had to make a big deal about it. And I think truly what upsets you, leftists, is you guys are horrible at this cancel culture thing. Sure, you got Gina Carano. Yeah, you got Roseanne Barr. By the way, she's on a comeback. Gina Carano will come back too. She's doing great things. She's a smart lady. She'll be fine. You guys cancel everybody. And then you started canceling yourselves. But there's a difference between cancel culture and free market capitalism or boycotting. We're just choosing to spend our dollars elsewhere. Instead of going to Disneyland, maybe we buy Jason Aldean's #1 hit. Instead of buying Bud Light, maybe we do a microbrew instead. You guys tried to cancel, or excuse me, I want to make sure I say it right. You boycotted Chick-fil-A. You failed miserably. It's one of the most popular food chains in the United States. It outpaces McDonald's. How did that go for you? There's a difference between cancel culture and boycott. Boycott is simple. It's saying, I'm going to spend my dollars elsewhere. It's not going to pull my money out of Florida and just because I don't go to Disneyland, I'm going to put it somewhere else. I might go to Warner Brothers. I might go to the beach. I might go to the hotel. I might go on a swamp tour. Whatever it is, that money's going to come back into Florida. Who cares about Disney? What about all their jobs? Well, you guys don't care about jobs when you're burning down businesses. You don't care about jobs when you locked them down and stuck masks and shoved a needle in everybody's arm, told them that they're out of the military. You didn't care about the veterans' jobs. Why do you care about some employees at Disney? It'll rebound. And if you do care so much, then why don't you go to Disneyland? Why don't you make that your next 6 vacations? Why? Because it sucks. That's why. And we've all done it before. And our kids are grown up. We want to go do new things. We want to go to Hawaii. We want to go to Fiji. We want to go to the Grand Canyon. Maybe we want to go to the Capitol building and see where the cake and bread is made out of money that doesn't exist. You're just upset. Cancel culture and doxing is removing an individual's ability to make a living by tarnishing them with lies and insults, labeling them with monikers that destroys them in the public eye. Me choosing not to go to Disneyland has nothing to do with it. It's simply a revenue adjustment for them. They have to change their forecast. They have to tighten the belt and stop spending so much. Why? Well, because I'm not going to go there next year. And if they're counting on year-over-year growth, they need my dollar. So maybe they'll change some of their stupid policies that are so controversial. Or maybe they won't. But either way, the free market will figure it out. Jason Aldean has a golden parachute. He just made more money than he ever thought he would in his entire career. He is crushing it. And he will continue to crush it now. And all you've done is empowered him to make great music. It comes down to this. Stop being triggered by everything. Yes, conservatives do it too. But all we do is just simply not go there anymore. We did it with Bud Light. Yes, we got frustrated with Chick-fil-A with their diversity and equity training. But we still eat there at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, we told Target to stop selling that stuff. And guess what? They did. This is what happens in a free market. It's caveat emptor out there, baby. Buyer beware. And if the buyer stops buying, corporations need to beware. Enjoy the song or don't. It's up to you. But don't sit here and preach to us that somehow this is racist and prejudiced. What is racist is that it's a white guy with a cowboy hat and a belt buckle, and you're applying your BS about white people to him. That's racist. There is absolutely no proof that Jason Aldean or his listeners are racist. And until you do, why don't you be quiet, or you will F around and find out. Whatever it takes to keep that number going up, folks. As long as it's respectful, you can say whatever you want. You can also pick up the new shirt recently released. Try that in a small town at the Don't Unfriend Me store at thedumshow.com. Just click that, go get it. You can use code DUM10 to save 10%, and 10% goes back to the Travis Manion Foundation. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. God bless. See you tonight at 8 o'clock with Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. We're all here. Be nice to each other out there. And go buy Jason Aldean's song. And Jason, come on my show because I want to definitely get you on. Good night, everybody. God bless.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call